Welcome to the Goalie Mindset Podcast. My name is Pete Fry, the Goalie Mindset Guy, and my purpose is to help goalies have a dominating goalie career. Welcome everyone to the Goalie Mindset Podcast. My name is Pete Fry, the Goalie Mindset Guy. Excited to have on here today Nic De-Gaetano from Evolution Goaltending. Did I pronounce your name right, Nick? I got to ask you again.
You sure did.
I did. Okay, fantastic. And they've worked with such big name goaltenders as Adin Hill, who just won a Stanley Cup, and Logan Thompson as well too, is also part of the Vegas organization. Anyways, Nick, I'm excited to have you on today.
Super excited to be here.
Awesome. So I ask you a question. What are some maybe common characteristics that you've seen in, say, maybe Adin or Logan or other goaltenders that you and your goalie skills had success with? What are some common characteristics that you've seen?
Well, I think the most common one is obviously work ethic, right? I don't think you can get anywhere without a work ethic. There's this thing of, you gotta work smart. You don't want to work hard, but I think that working smart means working hard. It's one of those things where if you want to work smart, you have to work hard. Now, there's people who work hard at nothing that really matters, right? That's obviously not good. So you got to work smart and hard, but working hard is a prerequisite. The one thing that I do think differentiates them from a lot of the rest is their attention to details. So they never do anything with no purpose. And I think that's the biggest trap that sometimes we get caught up into is, as goalies, one thing that we do, we're competitive people. We want to win, we want to stop pucks. And what we do is we get caught up sometimes in what other people are doing, not necessarily on what we need to do for ourselves. And one thing that they're very, very good at is they're very good at understanding themselves and working on what they need to work on, not getting caught up in, hey, what's this guy's doing? What's this guy's doing? I should probably try to copy it or imitate it. It's like, no, they understand who they are, they understand their strengths, and they play within their strengths. So I think they're obviously their work ethic is part of the package. But the other part of it is being very purposeful in their attention to details.
Okay. So work ethic and purposeful in attention to details. Those are a couple key things. Tell us a little bit about Evolution Goaltending. But you and Justin, give us just a little bit of that'd be great for our listeners to hear.
Yeah, for sure. So it's our 10-year anniversary this month. So we've been around for 10 years now. So it's super, super exciting. There's nothing better than, celebrating 10 years with a Stanley Cup, right? So the Evolution, basically, we've been around, like I said, for 10 years. When we started working together before starting Evolution, and we coached together for about 5 years, and then we decided to leave where we were and start our own thing, just because we felt like where we were, the attention started focusing more on revenue than actual development of goaltenders. And I don't get me wrong, it's one of those things when, as a goalie coach, if for the people listening, if you want to be a goalie coach one day and you want to do this for a living, obviously you need to make some money doing it, right? That's how you feed your family. However, at the end of the day, your job is to make guys better. That's your job is to develop goalies. So when we separated, started our own thing, it was what we had in mind is we want to build not just good goalies, but good individuals. And it's honestly the best part of the job is not just seeing guys like Adin Hill and Logan Thompson lift the cup. That is probably one of the biggest dopamine rush I've ever had in my life. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing it in Vegas, seeing them lift a cup was amazing. But it's also seeing the goalie who played maybe Division 5 making it to Division 1. The goalie who's never played double A or triple A making it to double A, triple A, or the ones who decide to retire and go to school and become. There's a goalie that became a biotech engineer, and that's awesome. Like those kinds of things is what makes us super happy to be part of it, to be part of their development as not only goalies, but humans.
Yeah, I love it. And I like how you say, not just the goalies that have won the Stanley Cups, but the ones that are, say, biotech engineers now, because they will take what they're learning in goaltending and they'll apply it. They'll apply it to what they're doing, and it makes them better humans overall, better work partners, or whatever we want to call that, right? Because of their experience that they've had and what they've gone through as a goaltender.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly.
Fantastic. What is, if you could give the listeners one piece of, I know the work hard, that is super important, right? And attention to detail. what if there was one thing that you would say, okay, you have to pay attention. If you want to be great, you got to pay attention to detail on this one thing. What would that one thing be?
That's a good question. It's hard to narrow it down to one thing, but I would say just really think everything back to from first principle purpose, basically. So if you're having issues in one specific situation, try to just hone it back down to the fundamentals. So if let's say you're having issues, I don't know, on your post when you're down in an RVH position, for example, you're getting beat on a far side pass up, whatever the situation is. Go back to the first principle, meaning if you're in an RVH position, what is an RVH? An RVH is a stance on your knees. Well, what's a stance? All right. A stance is a position that you put yourself in that allows you to do two things fundamentally. It allows you to move and allows you to make saves. If you're in a stance that you can't move, not a very good stance. If you're in a stance that you can't make saves, it's not a very good stance. So when you go down your RVH, how is your RVH position in a way that allows you to make saves, be reactive from it? Or how does it allow you to be mobile from there? If you see there's a deficiency there, well, there's your answer, right? Now it's a matter of find out like what the issue is. It might be your post side leg is too vertical, not parallel enough. There's all these things, but anytime you find an issue within your game that you want to fix, go back to first principle thinking. What are you actually trying to do from here? If you're handling a 2-on-1, what are you actually trying to do here? Well, obviously, we're going to meet the rush. When do we release off our goal line? Do we release in the puck carriers at the far blue line, the red line, or our own blue line, right? How far out do we want to come out? What's our positional range going to be? Are we going to be 3 feet out of our crease? Are we going to be 1 foot out? Why? I don't know. Like you tell me, right? So those are the things you got to think about. Now, when you're coming back with on a 2-on-1, why are you coming back? And how do you want to come back? Do you want to be C-cutting? Do you want to be drifting back? Because if you C-cut on a 2-on-1, your feet are in constant motion. Fundamentally, is it easier to make a save while your feet are in motion, or is it easier to make a save when your feet are standing still? Well, probably making a save when your feet are standing still. So if you're drifting back instead of C-cutting, well, already you're more efficient. So basically, every time my biggest advice is every time you're trying to figure something out, go back to the first principle thinking and just ask yourself why and come up with good reasons as to why, and then you'll come up with the right answer each and every time.
Love it, Nick. I love it. Fantastic answer. I'm going to open it up to one question from our Goalie Mindset Academy members. Who has a question for Nick? Maybe something technical you want to ask about, anything at all. You guys got the floor. Who has a question for Nick? Just go ahead, take it away.
I got one.
Okay, yeah. We got Hunter in Whitefish, Montana. Hunter, go ahead.
You work with Adin Hill, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How does he handle adversity?
Well, one thing that he does is he's always prepared. So there's two things. There's being prepared and there's confidence. And I'm sure working with Pete, you guys know a lot about confidence, right? So let's start off with confidence. I think the biggest thing with confidence is confidence is a belief, and it's a belief in oneself. The one thing about confidence, though, is I always found that confidence has to be rooted in reality and in truth. Basically, it can't be abstract, meaning you can't mistake confidence with inspiration. All right. Being inspired is a sense of excitement, but it's very, very short term. So a lot of goalies who need to get inspired before they go in to get that extra boost, it'll work there in the short term, but in the long term, it won't work that well, is what I found. So how do we make a belief system rooted in truth and reality? And part of it is believing in the technical skills and the tactics that you're actually utilizing. All right. So one thing that Adin does is he actually believes in what he does. He understands what his strengths are. So a lot of times I'll ask goalies, especially when I'm coaching on a team and we're in the middle of tryouts, I want to know more about them, is I'll ask them what their strengths are. And a lot of times goalies are very good at telling me their weaknesses, but they're very bad at telling me their strengths. And we're very big believers, and that's something that Adin does very well, is understanding what your strengths are so you can play within your strengths. Because if you can't play within your strengths, you're never going to be playing at your optimized self. So you need to understand what your strengths are. So reflection is very, very, very big. So after each game, writing down your journal, reflecting is going to be a huge, huge tool to understand what you're good at. And once you understand what you're good at, that's going to give you that sense of belief now, a real belief of what makes you good yourself. And then from there, if you believe in yourself and you believe in your strengths, then you can perform at any level. You get a tough game, you get put into in net like halfway through the game because your partner got hurt or whatever it is. If you believe in yourself because you know what you do works, then you'll be fine. You'll be able to perform. You'll be able to perform very well. And I think that's one thing that Adin does. Adin believes in himself so much that he invests into himself all the time. There's some things I can't say that when it comes down to his to certain contracts that he has, but very, very often Adin will invest in himself. He'll take a risk on his contracts. And again, that's what he does for a living. He'll put a risk on himself and his contracts just because he believes in himself so much. And it always pays off every single time. So I think when it comes out to like the question he asked as to what it is, like how does he perform? How does he do those kinds of things? Belief in himself. And that belief is always based on something real, something concrete, something that he knows that he's good at.
Do you want more shutouts? There's nothing more powerful than my private Zoom coaching to help you perform better to get more shutouts. Check it out at petefry.net. So focus on your strengths. Focus on your strengths. Too many guys go to focus on what they don't do well all the time, right? It's pointing out what they're not doing well. Focus on what you do well. Get better at that. Focus on your belief. Awesome. Nic, thanks a lot for coming on today, my friend. Where can people find you? Where can they find you in Evolution Goaltending?
So we're on Twitter at Evo Goalie. We also have Instagram at Evolution Goaltending. We have our website, evolutiongoaltending.com. And then we are also on Substack. I think it's evolutiongoaltending.substack.com. Fantastic.
Thanks, Nic, for coming on. We'll have your partner, Justin, on in the future here as well, too.
Awesome.
Great chatting with you. Great job.
Hey.
Appreciate your insight.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
This is Pete Fry, the Goalie Mindset Guy with the Goalie Mindset Podcast. Stay great.